Hey, everybody. Today we are going to answer the question: is Blanton's overhyped?
Ooh, them's fighting words.
Yeah, you're probably right. Hey, Whiskey Outpost. How y'all doing? I want to point out this is the second show in a row I've worn my I Recycle t shirt. So I've recycled it. Nobody cares. So, hey, real quick, if this is your first time at the Whiskey Outpost, just want to let you know my name is Chris, and that is Tina,
Hi.
and she still has a cold,
A little bit.
so she's not drinking,
No.
which means there's more Blantons for me, which is okay. So, if you are new to blends, if you're new to whiskey, you've probably heard about blends. And if you've been around whiskey for a while, you've probably heard about blends. It is this fine bottle, which has a horsey on top, which is very important because the horses have letters on them that you have to collect them all.
They
Because,
do?
yeah, then they spell out. Well, I hope so because we paid a lot for that
Oh, yeah,
bottle.
that one has an N.
Okay, good.
So it
Woo!
spells out Blanton's?
Yeah, you can get all the ones that spell Blantons.
Okay,
Yeah.
are both the N's different, or do you just need two of the same one?
They're both different, I believe. Yeah. So, and then there's other very cool things about this. Like they actually have the date that they were dumped. So this was actually taken out of the barrel November 16th, 2021. So a lot of people not only will look for. By the way, we have the most spoiled studio dog ever. Just want to go on record as having said one of the loudest ones too, but definitely one of the worst. So anyway,
She's only spoiled because she was making so much noise.
yeah. So then we rewarded that by picking her up, i.e., spoiled. Anyway, so not only people collect the letters, they will also look for certain dumped by dates or dumped on dates. So, for instance, we might go look for your birthday
Oh,
or
that
Ethan's
makes
birthday.
sense.
Yeah,
Like for a wedding present or something.
exactly,
Like an anniversary or something.
exactly.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So yeah, so blends not only does it produce a good product, there's a mystique around it and a collectability to it you don't get from your standard bottle of bourbon. And so I think to answer the question about whether or not it's overhyped, let's let's start by saying that I like blends. I've always been a fan of blends. I think that the aroma is fairly caramely. It's got a little bit of sugar and vanilla note to it that I really like. The flavor is just proofy enough that it kind of singes the palate in a way that's very pleasant. Um, it has some nice oaky flavors. What?
I don't think I ever will find my palate being singed. Well, that's not true because I love a good horseradish.
So yeah,
So yeah, I guess I do like my
all right.
palate
So
being
blends the
singed.
horseradish of bourbon.
Okay.
We're not saying that. That was a joke. So, but it's very good. I think some people don't like the flavor. It doesn't have the strongest aftertaste, so it thins out kind of on the back of the palate. I think some people don't like that, and it's okay to not like that. But let's establish that. I mean, it's not a bad bourbon. But being good and being bad doesn't necessarily answer the question of whether or not it's overhyped. And so I really want to look at that question in particular and ask, what does overhyped really mean? Um, this is one of the most sought after aftermarket liquors that I know of. So MSRP on this thing is 60-65 bucks.
Hold on. What do you mean aftermarket?
Secondary market, people like the reason why we paid way more than $60 for this bottle was we went to a gas station in my hometown and the guy had bought this from a distributor and then marked the price up. So the secondary market aftermarket price for it.
Okay.
Yeah. So good question though. Don't ask any more questions, even though I told you how much we spent on this. Nobody needs to know. Right, Studio Dog. Right. So anyway, at $60 or $65, there's no way this could be considered an overhyped bottle. The problem is everyone expects to pay more than that. It's also a TV star, right? Like you will see this bottle, I believe in John Wick, in the TV show Yellowstone. Like it's all over the place, and I mean it's a fairly recognizable bottle. I mean horsey, geodesic shape. Like it's it's going to show up, and you're going to know. Hey,
Yeah, they don't even have to say it's Blanton's.
you just kind of know.
Right.
So I think that generates a whole culture around Blantons. And so let me tell you, I love Buffalo Trace, right? I mean, there's my bottle of Buffalo Trace. This is Blanton's. I mean, they're all done in the same distillery, right? We've got Ancient Age, we've got Benchmark, we've got two separate Wellers because I love the Buffalo Trace family products. But even I can say, yeah, it's probably should be considered overhyped. Nowadays, since I've done this for a little bit, because I know what's out there. If I can find this at MSRP, yeah, I'm gonna drop 60, 65 pounds. I can't quite remember what it is, but I think it's in that neighborhood. 70, 75. Yeah, I'll pay that for a bottle of blends. Absolutely. Especially because like every Buffalo Trace fiend out there, I want to spell blends. And I want a bottle that has our anniversary date on it and the date we adopted Studio Dog and
Oh, jeez.
yeah.
You are spoiled.
But yeah, I mean, these are important things, right? But is this better than the bottle of Woodford Double Oak Woodford Reserve Double Oak that we have sitting behind us? I mean, if I had to go to an island and I could only choose Blanton's or Penelope Architect or Rio or
Okay,
just
let me
start,
ask you
yeah,
this.
yeah,
Okay, you say you spent about what, 200 on this bottle?
I did, yes.
Is it better than other whiskeys you've spent $200 on the
I've
bottle?
never spent $200. This is the most I've ever spent on a bottle.
Okay, is it better than whiskeys that you've spent
$100 on?
Yeah.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
What about other things that would be the same price, like 65, if you could buy it for 65?
No, once you start getting into that, this is. I mean, so here's the thing: blends is very good bourbon, right? It doesn't do any crazy things within bourbon, right? It's not uh, Amberana finished, or it doesn't sit in a imperial stout cask for 18 months. It's in a charred barrel. They dump it, goes into a bottle. I drink it, right? So
it's simple.
yes,
Like, I don't know if simple is
it's
the right word.
uncomplicated,
Yeah.
right? And so it's
Okay.
it is a baseline of what a good whiskey should be. So it kind of depends on what I'm in the mood for. If I wanted to drink it, if I wanted whiskey, or I keep saying whiskey, if I wanted just a good bourbon, yeah, at $65, it's one of the better ones I've had. Because below that, then you start competing with some things that just can't hold a candle to it. But there are better pours out there, and those pours deserve some of the hype. I mean, Blaine's has done a lot of things very right, so I give them credit for getting to the top of the mountain, for becoming kind of that thing that everyone looks for. I mean, that didn't happen by accident, right? Like, there was a lot of work that went into that, and so Blaine's, I think, deserves a lot of the credit it gets. But at the end of the day, if you had a gun to your head and you could only take one pour with you to a desert island for the rest of your life, I don't know how many people actually pick blends. I think there might be some other ones that get picked ahead of it. I mean, even like Weller Antique, which is I think we paid $100 for that bottle. I think is better than this. So at the end of the day, this probably sounds overwhelmingly negative about blends. So let me revisit the I love blends.
He loves Blanton's.
I do not regret spending the amount of money that I spent on this, except for the fact that, yeah, I know you do, but we'll talk later. I don't regret spending the amount of money on this because I don't think my collection would have been complete, and I don't feel like I would have been I wouldn't have had the status prestige of owning a bottle of blends without it, right? Which is dumb, but that's how I felt. So, that's where I come back to. Is it overhyped? Yes. Is it a bad pour? Absolutely not. And I think that those two concepts can exist simultaneously, and still make this a very drinkable Look at her. Very drinkable pour. And so if you're out and about, like I could get a pour of this at like a Sullivan Steakhouse for 15, $20 or something like that. I mean, next to nothing. Like try it, enjoy it, love it. Don't be ashamed by it. As I was covering my face, I was making serious face. Try it, love it, enjoy it. I think you're going to. Um, but also realize that if you're building your collection, there are other things out there that you're probably going to enjoy more. Do you think they're going to kick me out of the Buffalo Distillery tours now?
Maybe.
Oh, jeez.
You might have to go hiking with us instead.
Nope. I will find a way to get drunk. All right, Whiskey Outpost. Thank you so much. Again, please like and subscribe. I hope that this video was helpful. I hope you try Blanton's when you get a chance. If you need a sample, put it in the comments and let's see if I can give you some out of this hair barrel burble word I'm trying to make happen. Burble. Yeah, we'll go.
It's so not going to happen.
Burble's much better. Anyway, we will talk to you next time. See ya. Bye.
Bye.